Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm okay today.
All right.
Last year, I did some hypnotherapy
Yes.
to examine my voice
All right.
situation. And after about 6 sessions, the therapist said we had kind of reached an impasse.
Yes.
And she wanted to try this thing called the 13th step.
Yes.
And so the 13th step was like, I went up some steps and down some steps and up. And anyway, when I got there, I was to find my guides. And when I got to the 13th step, I was on your ship.
Yes.
And Ayako was there, dressed in white. And it was a very comforting feeling. I still don't know if I got the answers I was looking for regarding my voice, but I was wondering if you could give me some more understanding of that.
The idea, first and foremost, of course, of the 13th step in the way that we have shared it with you is the idea that any change is a total change. And if you understand that any change is a complete change, then you understand that you are a completely different person. And if you know that you are a completely different person, then you have a different history. And anything that has gone before doesn't exist for you because it never did. That's the 13th step. Thus then, the idea of the exercise you were given in walking up the steps and arriving on the 13th one showed you the level, the vibratory level that is necessary to actually create the effect of the 13th step in your reality and be a person who defines themselves in that 0 point moment in such a definitive way that whatever experience you are having now has nothing to do with that person. And when you become that person never had that experience and will simply express themselves in whatever way they define is appropriate and possible for them at that moment. But it takes becoming that vibration. You were shown the reflection of the idea of Ayako in that way because of her connection to our vibration, and also by picking up on the idea that her vibration is exactly the state of being that would work best for you, symbolically, to match to the best of your ability in your own unique way, of course, the idea of that frequency in order to be the person that will allow themselves to define themselves in the way that they prefer to. Does that make sense?
Yes. How exciting.
Yes. It is also about the understanding that many times voice is overrated. Allow yourself to learn different forms of communication, and you will find that you're actually capable of expressing yourself even more clearly than if you actually use your voice. Thus, then, you were being given the first symbolic reflection of different ways to learn how to express yourself vibrationally, energetically, through body language, through gestures, through a variety of other modalities that actually may serve you best and be far more representative and far more reflective of the kinds of communications that are actually important for you to have. By limiting the idea of your vocal quality, you have forced yourself into that watermelon seed corner where you must shoot out in a different direction. Thus, then, you must explore those other directions to find that you are far more capable of communication than you think, as long as you don't rely on the idea that your voice is the most important tool by which to accomplish that. Does that help you?
Yes, can you be more specific as to the other modalities?
No. By going through the process of the 13th step as many times as it takes, you will be shown the other modalities by arriving at that 13th step and the reflections you get therein in exactly the process you've already gone through. Keep climbing those stairs over and over again until you are shown all the modalities in that process.
Thank you very much, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Hey, Bashar, how are you?
Perfect, and you?
Good, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. And to you as well.
Thank you. Although I'm not a physical father, but I might probably have ET kids that I don't know about. I wanted to pick up where a previous caller talked about your life, and
Yes.
so are you birthed as an infant?
In a sense, but we no longer give physical birth. We create an energy space, an energy vortex in which a spirit can simply take on and crystallize a physical body.
And then you just appear?
The body just appears.
So the body just appears.
Yes.
And then when it appears, is it small like an infant?
It is.
And then over time, does it grow in
It
size
does.
like
Like
adults?
But about what you would call age 3, they are in many ways realized enough to simply wander the world and find what interests them.
So when you grow to your typical age is around what, 300 when people
Lifespan.
Yes, about 300
typical.
years old.
Though there are exceptions. There are a few individuals on our planet that are in excess of what you would call 1,000 years.
So your typical lifespan is about 300 years.
Yes.
When, as you grow older, do you
As we
age?
mature.
Okay, as you mature.
We do not,
you-
in that sense, grow older in the way that you typically mean it on your planet.
That's sort of what I'm getting at. Do you physically age and have
We will appear to
physical
mature in
changes?
some aspects, but we will not in any way, shape, or form exhibit what you call any degrees of infirmity.
That was actually my ultimate question here. So is that now due to belief?
It is
That we
due to the
believe-
idea of what we know to be true. It is beyond the level of belief.
Okay, so it's a knowing. Makes sense. So on Earth, I guess we still have the knowledge or the belief that we age, and so we
Yes.
body parts hurt, and things get out of
Yes.
whack and things. But you
It is the
guys
collective
are not like
consensus that you have bought into, but are learning to change. Many of you are living longer, more healthy lives, staying younger in appearance. And this is an indication that you are beginning to live more and more in the moment, and that you know you are eternal beings that don't necessarily have to express the idea of infirmity as you mature.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
So
thank you.
You're welcome. So on the issue of belief, it seems like, we've talked about this before, belief is everything. Changing your beliefs
Through the
changes
physical
everything.
personality, in that sense, it creates your reality. But we have also said that knowing is more powerful, because knowing is synonymous with action.
So my question has to do with, it seems like there's two levels of belief. One is the belief that we inherit from our parents and our society as we're growing up. And another belief, it seems like, is in our DNA.
There is the automatic
culture.
level that we have talked about, where you simply lay out the playing board of the game so you don't have to think about it. It is the collective consensus level of the belief reality, so that you can simply get on about the idea of exploring your individual theme within that collective consensus without having to consciously create the playing board all the time.
Okay, but now, if we want to make changes in our belief system, whether they're brought on from childhood or in that playing field that you're talking about,
Yes.
are they equally easy to change?
In the way that you mean it, not always. Because the idea is that you have agreed to a certain playing field. If there is a reason in the theme of your individual exploration to change an aspect of the playing field itself, then yes, it will be the path of least resistance.
Well,
but if it isn't included in your individual theme of exploration, then it is unlikely and improbable that you will need to change the playing field or the consensus level reality itself.
Like infirmity, for example.
Yes.
That's a belief that's in our DNA, I guess.
Well,
so that,
in a
would that be
sense.
harder to change than other beliefs that we learned in childhood or something like that?
Well, look around. If you see that the majority are still aging and still experiencing the idea of infirmity, then that tells you that within your belief systems, within your collective consensus, you have agreed that certain kinds of maturation are still highly probable for you. But on an individual basis, many of you are beginning to realize that you have the ability in your individual theme of exploration of, in a sense, altering your relationship to that collective consensus agreement, and are not showing so much the same signs as the majority of individuals on your planet.
Okay. So it's both. It seems like there's two levels of change. One is the internal change, and one is sort of the societal change or the group change.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And there was a third question that I wanted to ask, and I don't remember it right now. Do you remember it?
Something about our civilization.
Yes, it was. Because I'm always interested in your life and your background and your civilization.
You're not interested in my foreground. Are you getting some coaching?
Yes, I am. From Nania.
Yes.
So, any comments about your sculptures, your most recent sculptures that you've been working
My
on?
most recent sculpture is a spiral ribbon.
A spiral ribbon,
Yes.
like from bottom to top?
From
What do
the
you mean? Describe
ground
a little bit more.
up. 1 mile high, as you would count distance.
1 mile high.
Yes.
Wow. And what is that made of?
It is made of a crystalline substance, the same nanotechnology that forms the suits that we talked about, and the same technology that forms our ships.
Did you grow that?
In a sense, yes.
Did you have a hands-on technique to apply some pressure to form this?
The idea is that it is an extension of our planet like an antenna. So by sitting on the ground, having the intention, creating the corridor of energy, rising into the sky, placing my hands just so above the ground, and allowing the crystalline form to extend from the ground up through my hands and spiral upward. Thus, then it was sculpted through my hands as it passed through them and extended upward in spiral fashion.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes,
That's
it was
very cool.
relatively cool. To the touch.
Wow. And how about what's the diameter of this sculpture? Oh, a few feet, 2-3 feet across. Wow. And 1 mile high.
Yes,
Wow.
approximately.
So is there a purpose behind it besides the?
It was fun.
Okay. Hang on.
It is also an extension, in a sense, of my connection to the consciousness of my planet. It was the co-creation between myself and my planet of an antenna to receive different kinds of energies and allow them to download into the planet and into my civilization.
Wow.
It has to do with the idea of the energy of contact, because my family comes from a lineage of contact specialists. Thus, then, it was the creation of an antenna that is sensitive to the specific vibration of contact itself in a very particular way that had to do with certain civilizations we have made contact with.
So it's an art piece and a functional piece at the same time.
Is there a difference?
Yeah. Sometimes there's just art pieces just for the sake of art and looking
Not
at
really.
things.
You may think so, but not really.
Oh? Okay.
Every piece of art is a mirror and serves the function of reflectivity
Okay.
to expose to you and reveal to you more of who you are as you observe the art. Remember that when you look at art, it's looking back.
That's scary.
Exciting, mysterious, challenging.
Like the two orbs right next to you. They're kind of glowing, and it's actually quite cool.
They're looking back.
Exactly. All right.
Because there are two, they function like eyes and have parallax,
Interesting.
and thus then contain and observe a three-dimensional perspective of your planet through their crystalline eyes.
Wow.
There are many beings that can actually use these orbs as eyes to peer, to peek into your reality.
Wow. That's very.
And they are doing so right now.
Hi, guys. Hey, how's it going? Everybody wave. Hi. Yes, it is a cosmic teleconference. All right, Bashar.
As we synchronistically said when we were engaged in a conversation a few moments before, the eyes have it.
All right, Bashar, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love you.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.